Oh, YouTube. Well, I thought I'd come on here and kind of review see episode 6 of Greenleaf, new series. I love it. I enjoyed it tonight. Excuse me. Should get some water. Anyway, so I want to talk about what happened in this week's episode. So apparently, at first, I thought that Grace had left the family, left the estate and the church because she had gotten pregnant. But someone left a note in my comments, which is true. The girl is only about 13, and she left 20 years ago. So from what I can tell so far, two things happened 20 years ago. The time in their timeline. First, Grace left the family, and the second thing is that is about the same time that uh, the the uncle was accused of molesting the girl, the sister. So it seems like they're tied in together. I guess that maybe, well, who knows? But we know that the mother hates the daughter. There seems like an unfixable relationship there, and that she left around at the same time. Okay, so I just want to establish that. All right, so I got a little bit more information about the church. So they have 4,000 members, so that's a pretty good sized church. It's not like Joel Osteen or anything like that, but it's a big church. And they have 3 satellite churches, which I guess it means they go and pick up a few coins here and smaller churches also. But a lot of ministers do that. But apparently, it's not unusual at all that a preacher is the pastor of more than one church. But this is the main church. Okay. Stacy's been beaten, so Grace is going to tackle all the heavy subjects. I can see that in the story. One of the women is being beaten, and I wish the church would deal with more real things that happen in the black community. I mean, we all know that happens a lot. We all know that in a lot of black families there is abuse. People don't want to say, "Oh, we just like white people" and all that, but you have to address whatever is going on in your community. I think uh, enough of worrying about people who's gay and all this kind of stuff. When we have there's so many problems in the black family. I mean, there's problems in all families, I imagine, but there are a lot of important things going on that the church doesn't ordinarily tackle. At least I haven't heard it in sermons. It's usually they go back and they talk about stories that happened in the biblical times, ignoring what was right in front of them. So I kind of like the idea. There's a touchy one for me. I'm from that kind of a family with a lot of abuse, but I know it's very real, and I know that many people I know have went through the same thing. A lot of child abuse that people don't talk about because they're unpleasant things, but things that need to be dealt with. So it looks like Grace is going to be playing that role. She's going to be tackling. So far, it seems like there's some heavy thing going on in the community every week. So this time it was the girl who's being abused from her abuse group. I hope they're going to expand a little bit more about what actually happened. Hold on a minute. I hope they go. I'm sorry, I got phones going off all over the place. They're going to expand on what actually happened to the sister. What's her sister's name? Faith, because she was molested 20 years ago, but we really don't know what went on after the 20 years. I mean, she ended up killing herself, but she killed herself 20 years later. So is Grace is tying it all into this molestation, that she was molested and that damaged her life in such a way that she never got it together after that. So they could easily do it by just doing flashbacks and bringing in an actress to play that role and see what she was actually up to. I mean, I don't know if she was a drug addict. Sounds like she was, from what that old street dude said, that she was some kind of drug addict. So I'm sure more will be revealed with that. But she makes the correlation between the suicide and the molestation, obviously. So okay, what else we got? Jacob and his wife. Oh my goodness! I never would have thought they would be nasty. That woman so pulled up. It seems like she was so willing. Okay, so this TV producer guy comes along. Him and his wife. They're an attractive couple, but they are apparently some kind of swingers. The implication being that they invited Jacob and his wife to join them for a weekend. Hints have been made that it's going to be sexual. They all understand it to be a sexual situation. And she is just willing to go. She said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. She probably hasn't been touched in a very long time. Although he's getting his all over the place. So this speaks to the double standard between men and women. And I got to tell you, it's not always between men and women. Sometimes it's between men and men. The whorish man does his thing, but he doesn't expect the other person to do theirs. They're still possessive and jealous, even though they're the most promiscuous thing in town. Anyway, so they don't do it. So there's a love scene between them. I don't. She seems older to me. That actress, the one who plays Jacob's wife. I just don't see her being that sexy. But they had her in her panties and all this, and I guess swingers just want the I don't know. I don't know. But she was just awful willing to do that. He put a stop to it, so they didn't. So they're on good terms at the end of this episode. Jacob and his wife. Okay. Apparently, Jacob he got no talent. I said before that I thought maybe he was a talented preacher. I mean, minister, but not necessarily a preacher. His father doesn't believe that's his calling. So the mother is kind of pushing him forward. But the father, who is the bishop, I mean, he would know, since he's not the one. So he's going to be encouraging Grace to step up. Okay, forgive me for keep looking at my notes because I know I can't remember anything. But unfortunately, I can't read my chicken scratch either. Okay, so they're nasty. Okay, now here's the big part of this story. Okay, so we all know that the other daughter, is her name Charity? I get so confused with these names. I guess I'll get it in a few episodes. I think her name is Charity. But the daughter who's a music minister, she has fallen out with Nigel. Nigel was the big old queen. He was the choir director. And he was not getting along with her. And so she invited him to leave. Now, we know her husband is gay. He's a closet queen. He's or down low, as they say today. But he didn't have a problem when she told him that the new guy who was gay, who was out and gay, apparently he had an issue with the last two jobs, two churches he worked for, them finding out and there being a big old scandal and whatever. He had to leave his churches. So he said, well, this time when I go, I'm going to go up front. I'm going to be honest. I'm gay. This has been going on in the church since there have been African Americans in the United States. The gay people have always been in the music ministry. Now, I'm sure they're all over the church, but definitely when you go to a church, you almost expect the choir director to have on bow ties, something flamboyant, and to have the movements of a gay person, but they don't say it. Just like with Liberace, most of his audience thought he was straight, even though he was the gayest person you can imagine. Just don't say it. So hopefully we're going to dig into that issue. My guess is because he said the guy said who's a very animated, this new choir director, animated person. He said that he's out, and he has a husband who will be attending the church. Now I think the writers dropped that in there because even though this new choir director didn't know her husband, I'm guessing that when the boyfriend comes or the lover comes, he's probably gonna have had some encounter or seen the husband online because he's constantly on his little phone thing, or she's gonna somehow get a hold of that phone unlocked. But it's too bad because she really is one of the more lovable type characters. She's gonna get her heart broken with this man. Now, he didn't react nearly so much to the guy being gay as she did to him being gay and out. In fact, he suggested that she didn't even hire him because he was out. So such is a life of living a lie, living in the closet. I mean, okay, I don't want to get sidetracked in my own stuff. So, but they've always been there, or I should say, we've always been there. And matter of fact, if any of you ever end up reading some of my books, that's what I write about. Love and Gospel Music is my series, and they're all about gay men in gospel music industry. So, although my new book, okay, I'm not gonna get into the new book, although I'm dying to because it's gonna be out within the next couple of days. Okay, what else? Okay, I don't know what that church is kind of disturbs me a little bit because it looks like it's a beautiful traditional church, but they got these glass cubicles like they don't trust each other. So, I mean, you can't have, some places you go you can't be in there with the door closed. Well, they have the whole wall. Every office is open like goldfish bowls. So that speaks to distrust in me for some reason. And I mean, I can be comfortable with people just walk my office just looking at everything I do. But anyway, maybe they're all like that. I don't know. It just looks weird. They have these like Safeway doors on a traditional church. All right. So there's some little bit of hint there that maybe Bishop has something to do with Oprah at one point. Bishop's wife and Oprah are sisters. I should use all the characters' names. I don't remember all of them. And the accused uncle is their brother. So that's how the families are tied in together. But they had a walk where it kind of seemed like the bishop and the sister Oprah had some sort of a relationship or some kind of thing in the past. So that was interesting. Okay, so so I just put on here. It's like this series is going to tackle a lot of tough subjects, things that a community should be talking about. I know that violence is rampant in our communities, and so she's tackling this domestic violence situation, which is very, very, very common. Also, the teenagers are, I mean, people like to say, oh, they're no different than anybody else, but there's a lot of violence in Black communities, a lot of devaluation of life itself. We don't seem to value life. And so, where is that coming from? So hopefully we'll see more. Well, we are going to see. We already seen. One guy got shot. That's reflected in the news. The situation with this girl, the dying kid. So uh, Grace takes on all of those kind of cases. She does the actual work of ministry, I think. So all in all, I like the episode. It was good. Of course, well done. I'm intrigued. I'm just surprised by that lady though. That the one who I identified earlier that didn't like. They're showing her as more of a human person. Like she put on that sexy dress and that good perfume. She was ready to go. Anyway, it was a good episode. It's too bad that this marriage between I keep forgetting that girl's name, but the daughter and her gay husband. It's too bad that that's headed for a crash. But who knows? I mean, relationships are worked out all the time. He does seem to care for her, but he's gay as hell. We'll see. Okay, that's my opinion, my comments on this week's episode 6 of Greenleaf. I think it's a great series, and I'm enjoying it.